Hello viewers, good afternoon and welcome to my channel Flexmaster. Today we are going to study the same chapter Anilox Rolls Importance in Flexography, and we start now. Anilox Roll Importance in Flexography, chapter number 11. So, ink transfer in process printing. It is not only the job of Anilox Roll to transfer volume but as well as guarantee a certain homogeneity of ink transfer. Color strength must be achieved, but an over-inking of the small highlight is a great danger and requires a precise adjustment. Here is the figure showing that. Here is above chart, you see a dot and analogs with the relative fine screen count. As you may notice, there is rather regular and uniform inking. In this second case, in opposition to the same plate dot is now an Anilox roller with a coarser screen count. The dot is still supported by the cell wall and will be wetted by a maximum amount of ink. The ink drop is that big that it can easily be squeezed and may cause mottling and or higher dot gain. Ink transfer in process printing. In third case, the skin count of the roller is too coarse. The plate dot will dip into the cell and covered with ink. Because of this, satisfying printing cannot be guaranteed any longer. Although it is justified that the Anilox roller needs to be transferred a certain amount of ink for solid areas, these three cases reveal the need of a careful and precise adjustment with reference to the skin count of a roller. For this reason, it is necessary to consider all parameters of the Anilox roller and not just volume only. These three cases can be easily noticed in vignettes. If you observe carefully here, the graduation of printing image, the size of the plate dot in oppositions to the Anilox cell opening. The critical part is that highlight area in which the relatively small dots are applied. If this not take place, an exact adjustment between the printer and his set of Anilox rollers and the reproduction house in advance, a lot of printing problems may occur. In simple terms, the avoidance of printing problems is often based on the comparison of the existing dimension of the dots of the plate in front of the cell opening of the Anilox. If you need to transfer the huge amount of ink to solid areas, you need necessarily cells with a wide opening and high volume. But this can also indicate that you are forced to use the coarser screen count in the plate, or that you need to stop the vignette earlier in the highlight area, or choose the finer Anilox roller. The Anilox selection chart. Here what I am going to show you that Anilox roll skin lines per inch and lines per centimeter, of course, and optimum BCM, billion cubic micron. This is the optimum and maximum. It shows the volume, and now is the comparison with the what you need the plate screen and how you want to print the minimum dot 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%. You have to decide. Accordingly, you have to choose the Anilox roller volume and the plate screen LPI. For instance, let's see here just as an example, 360 LPI Anilox screen with a volume of 7 cubic micron per meter square, maximum 7.9. Okay, this is optimum, and you choose 120 lines per inch plate dots plate screen and 48 in line centimeter. What you want to print? You want to print the 1% dot, then you have to choose the 700 LPI, 560, 3%. 5% you want to print 180, and similarly 125. All right. So these all readings based on the hexagonal shape 60-degree cell angle. Volume and screen readings are only laser engraved ceramic rollers. The Moire words stands for a special disturbing pattern caused by certain inappropriate positions of angles to one another. The cause of Moire is indeed only the wrong position of the various angles, but unfortunately it has been established to call various kinds of disturbing pattern a Moire. Beside of the angle, all these patterns can have diverse causes, as these are printing pressure too high, inappropriate mounting, and over-inking. These are the reasons. With regards to the Anilox roller, we can mention only two reasons of moire, which are directly caused by the roller itself. A typical pattern like moire is caused by over-inking of the dots. The plate dot is really crammed full of ink, and at the moment of the printing, the ink is squeezed irregularly. The pattern which results from this appears similarly like moire effect. The solution: it can be avoided if try to print more in the kiss print position and or selecting an Anilox roller which transfer the ink more homogeneously. Moire, the second cause of the formation of moire is certainly due to the unfavorable positioning of the Anilox engraving angle in relation to the color separation angle. Two aspects are to be seen for this. Very broad land areas of old or worn Anilox rollers support an orientation of dots by which an unfavorable position of angles is clearly transferred. The ratio between the screen count of the plate and the analog screen count is of central importance. A relation 1:3 of a screen should be minimum. For example, if you want to print a plate dot of 50 lines per centimeter with an Anilox roller of 200 lines per centimeter, you have a ratio of 1:4. Due to this ratio, it is rather unlikely the moire appears by the positioning of the roller angles. As a consequence of this, we can state that there is no negative effect on your printing results whether you use 45-degree or 60-degree angle engraved roller. At this point, the question arises, if I am having the right relation between analogs and plate screen, I am avoiding the moire. Is it possible then to utilize an offset color separation? See here, magenta, you have an angle, we will discuss in the next slide, cyan, yellow, and black. All this screen angle, if you put together, it creates screen angles, all these screen angles create a nice rosette. Why? The conclusion is, considering the aspect of moire and angle positioning, this is the right conclusion, but do not forget the most significant aspect, as transfer procedure, as offset printing is totally different than flexo printing. A offset separation is built up with a totally different dot gain curve. In flexo printing, it becomes difficult to realize the required print quality from this setup. In flexography, where Anilox rollers are used, screens will often be rotated, usually by 7.5 degree, to avoid clashing with the pattern of the Anilox roller, which are usually cut at 60 degree. Other consideration: flexo screen using black, the cyan 22.5, black 82.5, magenta 52.5 degree, in yellow 7.5. In the same sequence, halftone Black may be pushed harder if there is a black line work. In case flexo screen, then using line K, which is black, cyan 22.5, and here the black is 52.5. All right, and magenta 82.5 degree, and yellow remains same. So CMYK plus line black also allows you better image control and higher black. Dot-gain curve. Evaluation of dot-gain curve is useful for in order to study the transfer properties of your press in reference to your plates and undergo setup, ink, the ink and the Anilox roller, etc. Due to this, the dot-gain curve is often described as the fingerprinting of the press. In order to receive the optimized printing results, it is necessary to make a print proof under different production circumstances, and which will help of a test form. The analysis of the print is done by a densitometer and provides the reproduction schedule with the necessary information for the optimal performance of your printing job. This will help to prove the printing conditions. In this way, you will easily recognize those parameters which are favorable or unfavorable for your printing results. The test forms shall consist of vignettes and various control elements and should be equipped with some bigger solid area elements across the width. Also consider the choice of the plate type and mounting tapes has a significant influence to the printing appearance. Printing is always a summary and results of all parameters in flexographic printing, such as press, speed, printing pressure, ink, printing substrate, etc. Even an analyzing all influences to be considered, only then improvements can be achieved. We will discuss in our upcoming chapters the fingerprinting of the press and how to do with the test form test and so on. All right. So we complete here. Thank you very much for this your valuable time. Further more clarification, write an email ah.flexomaster@gmail.com. We will answer your questions also through email. And right now, we will finish this chapter. So we will continue our upcoming chapters. And right now, I thank you very much for watching my channel and kindly requested to subscribe and like and comment so we can improve more and more. Thank you very much and